wife
defeats
in an
wife.
upsetting victory. Let's get it. Matter of
New
fact,
Year's,
let's get my
man.
shit off.
New Year, she got a little lippy in Mexico, and he had to go on upside her head. You know, like, look here,
Nah.
woman. I
Nah,
told
she
you.
popped him. She cracked him in the video.
She hit him first.
Yeah, she cracked
Okay.
him. And for me, let me say this: that whole shit is not necessarily my issue. I mean, one, I don't believe men should be abusing women, but 2 if you crack a man, you better expect to get cracked the fuck back.
Now on that horse, you better ride it.
Right. My problem is the footage on this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Now what we covered all last month, I think, and before that was the situation with Kanye West and how this cat by the name of Ari Emanuel put the call out that nobody was to do business with him. And so he started losing contracts. Banks didn't want to fuck with him and everything. Well, Ari Emanuel owns what's the shit? Endeavor. It's an Endeavor Group, who ultimately owns the fucking UFC. This is the guy that owns the UFC and mum's the motherfucking word as far as this Dana White situation. You got the sports networks as far as like Fox Sports, I think, or ESPN, where Stephen A. Smith is. These motherfuckers, along with Harvey Levin, like they letting this cat shape the narrative. You know, he was on TMZ and Harvey Levin was like, oh, so there was a bunch of liquor involved. Well, you don't remember anything, right? I watched we just seen Stephen A. Smith last month defend motherfucking Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones.
When he was trying to stop black students from going to schools, was that in Arkansas? I think it was. And Stephen A. Smith, you know, he's a good guy. You can't blame him. I think this is wrong. Cancel culture. I think he was just there. He was a curious kid. This, that, and the 15th. But every time it's a fucking black man, Stephen A. Smith gets animated like a motherfucker. You know, Ray Rice. When the Ray Rice situation happened, he came out and he said, like, yeah, nobody should be putting their hands on anybody. Michelle Beadle goes to the boss, and they all start crying and shit. Next thing you know, they come back from break, and he's like, I made a mistake. Under no circumstances should a man ever put his hands on a woman. I've confronted men about putting their hands on women, and I don't think it's right. And he started all this crying and shit. Well, now that it's Dana White's a very, very good friend of mine. I talked to him. He knew there wasn't any way I wasn't going to talk about this, but he said it before. There's no reason for a man to put his hands on a woman ever. And I think that he's a good man. He's a good friend of mine. I just talked to him. I love him. And I'm like, you know,
that's my issue with Dana White. It's Dana White. He said that. He started that trend with the UFC, saying,
there you go.
You know, all those guys that's roared it up in the UFC that put their hands on their lady. He was like, they have no place in our what you call it, in our
right
in our culture.
An establishment.
Like, those guys got to go. He was the face of it.
We gotta go. We got to give him, like, and I'm a woman, but we got to give him some kind of, I mean, yeah, I get it compared to other people and black people, that's a problem. But when you put your hands on a man, and sometimes, look, I got a brother, all right, and I keep picking and picking and picking, and I hit him one time and I got fucked up, and I knew then that you don't push no man to no limit where they snap out, like, period. True. Don't put your hands on nobody, period.
Well, here's the thing, Miss Kiki. That's why I started off by saying that wasn't my issue. Even though somebody, I was listening to him, they pointed it out. Like, she popped him. He smacked the shit out of her. But then he turned around and he gave her an extra slap. That's where I think, okay, maybe we went overboard. But I'm also a believer, if you assault someone, if you harass, if you do anything, if you commit any type of transgression against somebody, you then can't dictate how that person responds.
Yeah, that second smack was, don't you do it again. The first smack was a reaction. The last smack was that, so you'll know.
Yeah. Right. My problem again is the reaction. And I'm not shocked. This one brother, he talked about how, that's us that's not on code. We can't expect them to talk about their own, which I still find to be bullshit. Because again, Chad Wheeler almost killed his fucking black girlfriend. Beat the brakes off of her. And when he saw she was still alive, he looked down and said, "Oh, you still alive? That's interesting." And they was talking about, oh, he's suffering from bipolarism. Kanye West just said something and nobody gives a fuck that he's bipolar. They tried to yeah, he said something and nobody gives a fuck that this cat is bipolar and having manic episodes. And I truly believe there's some more shit wrong with him. Okay. But it's just when you see the likes of the Stephen A. Smiths and Molly Curran, that was another thing. Jalen Rhodes' ex-wife. I remember when the show first started, she didn't say a motherfucking thing, which she should go back to not saying the motherfucking thing, because she jumped all in Kyrie's ass. Right. You know, he needs this, that, and the other. Idoku, she has a bunch to say. I don't see how he's getting fired. He should be punished and all this. Now, all of a sudden, when it's the white guy, oh, I don't believe in cancel culture. I don't think this is right. Dana's a good man, and he's a friend of the show. Bitch, fuck you. Fuck Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith is a person that should be ostracized by the everyday black person. Like, if he was to call other brothers out on shit, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But then when you see these white folks, it's just like you just start seeing the tap shoes and shit. And this motherfucker be like, challenge, and start getting to the Sandman Carruthers shit. You know what I'm saying? Challenge. You just see feet and shit. You just see these motherfuckers up here going like challenge.
Hey, man, that's what Steven do, man. He's always in the hunt for the next gig. Who knows? He may be the next for UFC. He's always in the hunt. He's always gonna placate. You know that. That's his format, man.
And he's saying he's basically talking about a future without the without ESPN. But I mean, I'm just saying, you see it. We watching Skip Bayless show his ass. He dogging Shannon out, and Shannon take that shit. Mm-hmm. And then this next week he made that fucked up ass tweet. Okay. But this is the other interesting thing. Some gentleman by the name of Jeff Wagenheim. He says he put out this tweet and it said, we've been told not to write anything incendiary on social media about the Dana White situation. And I understand why and have abided by that. I just ask y'all to understand that some of us at ESPN do not have a softest take on domestic violence, which it shows you that these motherfuckers is off limits. Mm-hmm. But when it's one of our people, you understand what I'm saying? Because they completely ruined fucking Ray Rice. It was almost the exact same situation, except for this motherfucker got muscle and she bounced off the elevator and hit her head on the rail and he dragged her out. But she was drunk.
Was very close.
Right.
I just have to say.
But then got married. He got married after that.
He got all the face meat all up in here.
Yeah, it did.
Right. And all that's good. Right. But she even said, hey, she said the same thing that Dana White's wife said. This is a private incident. We would like people to respect us, this, that, and the 15. Nah, fuck that. They ruined his career. So now you got this cat, Ari Emanuel, who's looking like a big fucking hypocrite. And I get what you're saying, big bro, as far as like this is what Ed is going to do. But I feel like it has to be talked about, or else this shit is going to keep happening if nobody draws attention to it. Like, they can't keep raking us over the fucking coals. But then when one of them do the same shit, it's like, oh no, mum's the word. Everybody, we gonna media blackout on the shit.
Yeah, they can and they will, because we don't own no networks. You saw the memo. Right? You read the memo. You just read the memo. We cannot here at ESPN talk about such and such people because, they keep the lights on.
It's like a form of slavery.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Exactly. Man. No, that's exactly what it is. My thing is this. When you don't rebel against the shit or say anything, whether you own the motherfucker or not, you telling people, hey, I'm comfortable with the way I'm being treated.
No, I get you spoke your piece, but guess what? Guess who's still the head of UFC? Guess who doesn't have a job? Ray Rice didn't touch the field, like you said, since that damn video and all that shit, that backlash. Ain't never touched the field since. Even though the wife said, this is a private matter. It's between us. Mind your business. We still getting married after he didn't hit her and body slammed her inside the damn elevator.
He body slammed her.
I mean, my thing is, what is it, DiCaprio? Ain't that DiCaprio who took the knee? Am I saying it right?
Kaepernick. Leonardo DiCaprio. He gonna play Kaepernick in the movie now.
He gonna play him.
He didn't even have to put his hands. Basically, they
canceled him. They put the call in.
Yeah, you're on our puppet string. You're like a puppet. And if you go against us, we'll take everything away from you.
They put a call in and said, anybody give him a job, you know what I'm saying? Y'all out of the Billionaire Boys Club. No team touched him. He was radioactive. Oh, yeah, we'll give you a tryout. They gave him a tryout. While he was trying out, this is what they were doing.
They gave him a tryout on a little league football field.
And that's all they did. They're like, oh, okay, are you done? You done? Okay.
Wow.
He was on the Eastside Broncos.
That's how that worked.
They paid him off, and they had him sign an NDA.
Yeah,
so all the tryouts,
thank you,
was to make him not look so bad.
Right, but that's what it was. They put the call in, like, if he ever touched the field again, you out the club.
I get it, man. I get it, and I get it, and I get power. But at the same time, man, you know, wouldn't nobody watch the field or none of that shit if them brothers weren't playing.
Facts.
Same as the court.
But the brothers ain't cutting the checks. My thing is family. I feel your frustration. I feel your frustration.
Right. But the money comes from the brothers, and at the same time, again, I completely get what you're saying, and that's what a lot of people. Like I said, the one video the cat clearly said, and I agreed with him. Hey man, we can't look just because we all fucking cold. We can't expect anybody else to be off code. But at the same time,
right,
when our people are playing a part in this shit, they need to be checked. Stephen A. Smith shouldn't get no fucking pass. For me, I don't understand why those players aren't freezing him the fuck out every time he come for an interview. You know what I'm saying?
It's in their contract, family. It's in their contract.
Listen,
it's in their contract.
I get it. But again, they ain't got to necessarily talk to his ass. They can talk to reporters.
You know what they can do?
Necessarily talk to him.
Not to cut you off.
Go ahead.
Remember Marshawn Lynch?
Absolutely.
Remember, that's what he did.
Right.
You know, he was just like,
so I won't get fined.
That's it. That's all he said.
What else he said?
If they all start doing that, then yeah, he'll go away because nobody wants to have, you know, if he's supposed to be this great interviewer and nobody want to sit down and give him the time of day, yeah, they're gonna get rid of him. I get that.
And see for me, one more time. I'm sorry, Drew. Go ahead, Drew. I got you. Go ahead.
All right. As a former journalist, and I say that loosely, these people are groomed and they're picked. They're handpicked. Before Stephen A. Smith, it was Stuart Scott.
Facts.
Okay, and he was picked because he would flip hip hop phrases within the sports genre.
Booyah!
It wasn't nothing different than what we did in the barbershop. He just decided to take the neighborhood to them, and they thought it was cool, right?
And he had that slick Rick eye.
Shut up, you bastard! Don't you ever disrespect the dead like that. Continue, Drizzy. Don't let him get you off.
Right, and no disrespect to the dead. I'm just saying this is the game they play. They don't care who we pick. They will pick one that they will force on us, and then we eventually it happens the same way every fucking time. It's so old and boring, right? And so if it wasn't Stephen A. Smith, it would be somebody else.
Facts.
And I mean, and then you look at how the whole fallout between him and Skip. And they're pretty much the same person.
Yep.
Just two different.
Shit, he was just defending Skip. Go ahead.
Yeah, but you know they cut from the same.
Listen. I'm absolutely not saying that any of you are wrong. It's not just fucking sports. If we look across the board politically, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Exactly. Whether and I'm not judging her, but you got your Candace Owenses of the world. You had your Diamond and Silk. I think Diamond just fucking died.
She did.
Your Officer Tatum motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You always see this, but what I'm saying is we know that these people are gonna put motherfuckers out there like us to be the mouthpieces so they can control the narrative and shit like that. But when you got Stephen A. Smith up there pulling out lists, he pulled up a list on the show. I couldn't believe what the fuck he was doing. And it was a list of all the fucking players that have been convicted or charged with domestic violence. Mm-hmm. And it was all black ones. He just left all the fucking white ones out of there. And it took Max Kellerman to say, hey, man, you do realize. I think it was Skip Bayless at the time. He said, you do realize that, I mean, the majority black motherfuckers in the NFL.
Can I ask you to pause? Can I ask you to pause and not lose your place? I don't want you to lose your place. I want you to jump right back. Seriously. Now,
got you. Good.
Take what you just brought up there. Let's go back a few ticks to what you just said about the way that they paint the narrative of us being 77% of the league. Who brings in the money? Right? So how can you complain? This is how they look at it. I'm just bringing this point. Not saying I agree with this or think this way. How can you complain when your talent has afforded you an opportunity that any other so-called person of color would not have been afforded for such egregious deeds? If you were just, little Jimmy on the corner that beat his woman up, you're not going to make $1 million the next 10 Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You're not making $150,000 a Sunday and suiting up and playing because, you're going to jail, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to jail. As soon as you smacked her the first time and she told, it's a wrap. So this is the way that they're looking at it. And then you got someone like Dana White, or let's go to Robert Kraft. You getting special happy endings and you pay a little fine and everybody shuts the fuck up. But the Browns quarterback, who got the top deal ever signed in the NFL history, has to sit out for 10 games so that their team almost make the fucking playoffs. And I'm not even a Browns fan. I'm a Steelers fan, so I'm just keeping it 100. Like,
Facts.
That's just
facts.
And you only had to pay him $2 million.
That part
on that max contract this year.
That part. They're looking at the long game. They're looking at the long game. They don't give a shit about. They don't give a shit about the domestic violence.
No.
All of that, right? But it's because they own the narrative. They own
no. But bust it. I'm not paying attention because a lot of shit. I think that the whole shit. What's the brother's name that got caught with the white girl? He was a commentator.
OJ. Oh,
no.
Motherfucker.
No. Listen. No, for real. The cat that Amy Robach. He was cut. TJ Holmes. I think the TJ Holmes and Amy Robach shit should have just been between them. I think that the Ime Udoka shit should have just been between him, Nia Long, and whoever the fuck he was screwing. Okay. Right. My problem is this and everything Drizzy you said was correct. Everything you said, Edmond was correct. What I'm saying, Edmond. What I'm saying is this: these things have a ripple effect, and they like to paint the brothers as the picture of all fucking depravity. And my thing is, if we got a small platform here, we got 407 motherfuckers, and if we can reach out to our
appreciate you,
love y'all.
You know what I'm saying? Tasha K got the YNOs, and this person got that. The Hulk Hogan got the Hulkamaniacs. We got y'all motherfuckers. So what I'm saying is we can't just not say anything because then it's gonna look like we agreeing with the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I have a big problem when these motherfuckers, because I get it. Look, Dana White. If Dana White goes somewhere, UFC is going down the toilet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he's in a position where he's needed. He's a high ranking piece on the chessboard. But so are these brothers. Of all the motherfuckers, these cats would be good if these brothers said today that they ain't want to play no more. But the money was slow up in the sports arena. All of these cats got other ventures, but it is fucked up when we got a media that's so unfair and unbiased that black men look like the face of motherfuckers that's whooping hoes' asses, and this man then clearly smacked the shit out of his old lady. Hell, you had the War Machine motherfucker that beat the brakes off of his old lady, and it you know what I'm saying?
I was out here, man. So, definitely followed that story from beginning to end. Yeah,
that's what I mean. I hate to say it, but white men are known for beating their women and running off of cliffs when their money ain't right or the woman cheated. Just said fuck everything.
In a test.
You know what I mean? So it's just like they're always going to smear us, just like black on black crime. There's white on white crime, and there's Asian on Asian crime. There's all kinds of that, but they're, that's just for some reason they hate us, and that's just what they do. You know what I'm saying? Until we stand up, that's just like, okay, like it's a whole bunch of players, right?
Mm-hmm.
like you said, like 75%, like we're making all this money. That's just like you said, like slavery.
Yeah.
We were a whole bunch of people on the plane, out there. We could have did something, but we, for some reason, the white man know how to condition you to make you bow down, and it's always with resources, and that's something that our people lack. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, and like the brother Wise Intelligent, he made the comment like, "How could you expect
there he is.
a young man to do this?" What's up, Pastor? He said, "How can we expect?"
Happy belated to your family.
Yeah, happy belated.
Yeah, happy belated.
Yeah, he was just saying that our people are in one of all things, but again, for me, it's just one of the things that I could never let ride. Like, I can't sit up and listen to a motherfucker be like, "Oh, all these black bitches, this, that." Like, maybe that's the motherfuckers you deal with, but I don't know nothing but dope sisters, man. I mean, yeah, we all know the outliers and shit. You know what I'm saying? But what would I look like as a brother who wears this skin to not say, "Hey, these motherfuckers is on some bullshit"? And so is that nigga Stephen A. Smith and that bitch Molly Karam.
Allegedly. Okay.
All
right, man. We didn't ran around this track about 3-4 times.
I'm not moving forward until somebody calls him a coon 3 times in a row.
Coon.
And they're gonna pop up in the
say
mirror.
Amen.
Hey, I got a question. I got a serious question though. When it came to the domestic violence incidences in the UFC, now what happened? Were these fighters fined, or were they taken out of the NFL? Like,
depends on if they got caught. They got kicked out. That was the whole point. There's a clip, like a montage of Dana White saying, this cannot stand in the UFC.
Mm-hmm. He brought
none of
it
this,
yeah.
So yeah, that's how that went until it came to him hitting his wife.
Well, he ain't a fighter though,
and he's the owner.
But he's part of the UFC, brother.
Yeah,
no, he's just the chief executive officer.
Yeah, he's the face. But they can get rid of him, just like they got rid of old dude from Papa John.
That cat got 10%. He's got a 10% stake in the UFC. They can get rid of that motherfucker.
They can get rid of him if they want to.
He's way below the controlling interest in that shit.
Yeah, but
they're not. Like I said, like I said, if his wife said, "Hey man, look, that shit is between us," then you cool. But let's not act like this nigga didn't do what the fuck he did. Let's not go radio silent.
How I go.
I'm not trying to.
I hear your frustration, fam.
Did she swing on him first? Did she hit him first?
And I think that's the difference, is that there's actual video of this woman smacking him in the face first.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we're in a different.
Hold on.
Time
what did you say? I'm sorry. What'd you say?
I said there's video footage of this woman hitting him first.
Right.
So that's a little bit different. That's not a real domestic violence situation. Well, I mean it is, but it's not a one-sided domestic violence situation. There's two motherfuckers fighting.
Chris Brown.
No.
Rihanna hit his ass first.
Rihanna was whooping his ass in that car.
He was driving
in a moving car. She was whooping his ass in a moving car. And they still smearing his fucking name to this day.
Yeah.
Ray Rice's wife was drunk as fuck, popping the shit out of him. You know what? It wasn't her hitting him that made him knock the shit out of her. It was her fucking spitting on him. You understand what I'm saying? So that's not my point. Again, I just said, hey, if you big and bad enough to hit him, because they always say, don't no man hit. Well, motherfucker, you knew he was a man when you hit him. Don't just act like he was a man after the motherfucker he hit you. You knew he was a fucking man. You should have kept your hands to yourself. I'm solely talking about, God damn, this bias ass goddamn news. Go ahead, my bad.
Oh yeah,
it's nothing new, fam.
It's nothing. That's why I'm like it's crazy.
It's nothing. He'll be back next UFC, tournament. Dana White will be there promoting the next fucking fight.
It's starting to be
full of black fighters.
Yeah.
It's starting to be accepted though now. It's starting to be accepted because look at Krishan and Blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, she be whooping his ass.
She be beating his ass.
He whoop his ass.
Yeah.
He hit that nigga with a handball. Nigga.
She can black both that boy out.
That's what they call entertainment, and
he be trying not to hit.
That's how that goes now. They want to keep us in that realm. Like, this is black love. This is how they get down.
That's what I'm saying.
And it pisses me off because this is the only way that people that look like us can enter somebody's home, and this is the representation that they get. And like, I know how you guys act. Like some dude said some shit like, I know the black man struggle because I watch Baby Boy.
And
like
stupid shit.
Baby Boy is the worst example of black men.
Right. This is the only time we could get inside certain people's homes.
It wasn't a decent black motherfucker in Baby Boy. That was the same motherfucker who wrote Color Purple wrote Baby Boy. Go ahead.
I'm not saying that's the worst representation of black people in film. I mean, there was Holiday Heart.
Stop, man. Stop.
Hey, nigga, was a decent motherfucker.
And there was, what was that that stupid Eddie Murphy movie?
Man, the boy was just sweet, but he was taking care of a little girl. So I don't know if that's the worst representation, man.
Got it. All right, continue, family.
He was being a good human being. That's what Holiday Heart was.
New Jack City was the worst representation of black people.
No, it wasn't. It was the foundation of the black.
That was some gangster ass shit.
That was the foundation of the 90s.
What, baby?
Yeah.
I just feel like they take the hood dude and make it.
Yeah,
they take the hood dude and make it all black men.
Okay,
and it's not all black men that's in that hood.
Let me say this, and then we're gonna get off of this. This show, I love it. I ain't seen, my wife told me the last season sucked, but I watched this shit called Yellowstone.
Oh yeah.
And this shit is a master class in manhood. Okay. Whether you one of the natives or the white dudes, it's about protecting what's yours or going to get what someone's taking, being a father. It's all about fatherhood. And it ain't no sweet ass cowboys in there. But then you get P Valley and you see a motherfucker with a pressing curl and the goatee.
Come on, man.
Scripping.
Come on, man. Next. You can't compare the two. You can't compare the two.
Bullshit.
Go ahead, man.
Every time you turn something on, there's some gay black men in the shit.
Oh, God. Here we go.
Motherfuckers get to be cowboys and shit, and they fighting and fucking. Go ahead.
Go ahead, man.
And drink.
Next. Go ahead.
I'm mad. I hate that.
Go ahead, man.
What?
Please, go ahead.
Yellowstone the shit, though.
It is. I'm on it. I'm on it.
Straight black dick matters.
Damn it.
What?
I told you to move on.
Best man, the final chapter.
All that shit we talked, and that's how we end the segment.
Wait a minute, hold on. We started everything with everybody needs their own opportunity to speak. You know, so don't hold it against me for not hitting the next button.
Man, Drizzy, hit his ass with the remote, please.